All right, you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Today, I'm sitting and yapping yet again, once again, just because I know you guys love these type of videos. And honestly, I hope when you watch these videos, you're kind of just like doing your own thing, watching it in the background, maybe learning something new. But I'm excited to talk about this one today because I feel like it's kind of a theme right now. Now that summer is kind of over, I feel like fitness goals either really excel and go through the roof and people are dialed back in, or the complete opposite. The cold can really get to people, and it's definitely something that I can relate to. Sometimes it is really hard to stay on track when it gets dark at 4 p.m., when it's freezing cold, you don't want to go outside, you don't even want to walk to the gym or drive to the gym, and it can be really, really demotivating. Another thing I find that people tend to do a lot in the winter is kind of just like neglect their nutrition and neglect all the healthy food that they need to be eating and just kind of go towards more comfort food. I'm going to kind of talk to you about how to push past that and what are some really great tips when you're on a fitness journey and kind of overcoming like the winter blues, post-summer blues. I have a list of 5 things and I'm going to try and break them down as best as I can. If you have any other suggestions for people that struggle to stick to their fitness goals, please put them down in the comments. I find that everyone giving a say can be a lot more helpful than just one person. We are going to start out with the first one. So I did write them down. Don't mind me if I look through my phone. These are going to be the top 5 worst winter fitness mistakes that you can do. And the first one is obviously hibernating instead of moving. A lot of times when it is cold, people just want to stay home. They don't want to go outside. They don't want to walk. And honestly, I am so guilty of that. Like even thinking about walking my dog in the middle of winter in Canada sounds like an absolute nightmare. But if I were to do that, where I just kind of hibernate, I let my boyfriend walk the dog all the time, I don't go outside, that is not only going to affect my physical health, but it's also really going to affect my mental health. One thing I've learned if you live in Canada is you have to bundle the fuck up, okay? Wear a lot of layers and get yourself moving. And I know it can be hard. Obviously, there are conditions where it's literally impossible. You shouldn't go outside. It's probably safer for you to stay inside. But even a 15-minute walk can really make such a difference in your day. Just breathing fresh air, inhaling that fresh air can really change your entire day. Don't hibernate. Try to step outside as best as you can, even if it's you walking to the grocery store, walking to an errand. It's really important to try and stay moving, especially when you do have fitness goals to achieve. The reason why it's important is because you need to build discipline, right? Like if you're only disciplined when it's warm, when it's easy, then I wouldn't say it's fair to call yourself a disciplined person, because I find that someone that's disciplined gets it done no matter what. The other day, I actually was running with my friend on the track while it was pouring rain at 6 a.m. And we were so close, like we were like almost not gonna go because I was like, oh, I don't want to get sick. I don't want to hurt myself. We didn't really know how bad the rain was going to be. We got there, it started spitting, and then it just started to downpour, but we got it done anyway. That was something that felt so good completing because we were so close to not doing it due to the weather, but we got it done. Not saying I suggest running in the rain. I don't suggest doing that. It's not very safe, but my whole point is that you just have to get it done no matter what. And that's what really makes a very disciplined person, is that they don't let the weather get in the way of what they want to achieve. Another thing is that a lot of people want like year-round results, right? So one thing about me is that I manage to stay relatively lean all year round now, and that's really because I do prioritize movement no matter what time of the year it is, no matter what season it is. Yes, maybe my steps decrease during the winter time. Maybe I'm not walking outside as much as I am compared to the summertime, but I'm still prioritizing my movement, right? So if I'm headed to the gym, it's the middle of winter, I'm probably gonna hop on some sort of cardio machine to get some extra steps in, to get some extra movements in, because I know that I'm not getting in as many steps as I usually do in the summertime. If you want those year-round results, you have to give in all of that effort all year round, no matter what the weather looks like. So number 1 tip is do not hibernate during this time. Try and stay moving as much as you can. If you're not able to get your steps in outside, for example, as much as you are compared to the summer, then get some extra cardio in when you're at the gym. Spend some extra time. Even walking on a treadmill can make such a difference, but try and stay moving regardless of the weather. Okay, this will really make you feel so much better and it will help you stick to your fitness goals. Next one. Okay, this one is one I actually enjoy talking about. So a lot of times what people tend to say when winter is here is that like it's time to bulk, right? Like it's time to like gain some size, it's time to gain some mass. But a lot of times what can sometimes happen is that the bulking has gone wrong, okay? And what people tend to do is they eat, right? Like they eat a lot of food, but they're overeating foods that are not considered very nutrient dense. So when I say bulking gone wrong is that I think some people confuse like bulking with like eating an unnecessary amount of food that isn't healthy, right? Like you can absolutely bulk on things like pizza, McDonald's, Harvey's, Wendy's, all those types of fast food chains or any sort of fast food in general. You can probably gain some mass after eating a huge amount of those, but it's not the bulk that you want, right? Bulking means you are trying to put on as much muscle as possible. But then there are some people that think bulking is just like gaining size. And what can happen when you're eating all of these unhealthy foods is that you're actually putting on fat. Okay. And then you're thinking you're gaining size, you're doing everything right because this is a bulk, you're eating over your maintenance calories, but it's not muscle. Okay. So there's a huge difference between like bulking the right way and bulking the wrong way. And I think a lot of times people mix the two because they just assume that bulking means gaining size. When you're bulking, you still want to eat nutrient dense foods. You still want to keep your protein high. You still want to monitor your carbohydrates. You still want to monitor your fats. You can't just be eating more than you usually do and it's just full of garbage. It's full of sugars, it's full of oils, it's full of carbs, for example, right? I think bulking is so great. I have a few bulking clients myself, but I'm not out here telling them to eat everything and have double the portions and like extra fries on the side or extra rice. Like everything has to be monitored so that you're actually putting on muscle, as much muscle as you can. Now with bulking, what can happen and what actually tends to happen most of the time is that while you're gaining muscle, you're also probably putting on a little bit of fat. And that's completely normal, right? That's why after a bulk, you cut. So you cut down that fat so that those muscles pop. It's really important to make sure that you're not doing a severe bulk where you're like, I don't know, 1,000 calories over your maintenance and it just ends up sitting as fat and you're not putting in as much muscle, especially if you're not on a strict progressive overload training program, right? Like if you're kind of new to the gym and you want to put on size and you just start eating all of this food, but you're still not really sure what to do in the gym, you have to really be cautious about how much food you're actually eating compared to the training that you're doing. When you're bulking, you want to make sure, yes, you are training consistently at least 4 to 5 times a week. You also have to make sure that you're progressively overloading, that your workouts are starting to feel harder week by week. Like I've told you guys before, progressive overload doesn't always necessarily mean increase the amount of weight that you're using. It could be, decreasing the amount of rest that you're taking in between your sets. It could be you slowing down your tempo with your exercises. So there are different types of progressive overload. When you're bulking and when you're trying to put on some size, your best bet is to try and increase the weight every week or so until you feel confident to do so that you're actually challenging your muscles week by week. Okay? Make sure you're not bulking wrong. Make sure you're doing it the right way. And if you're not sure, you can always hire a coach, aka me. You can always hire me. Okay, next one. Letting cozy mode ruin your discipline. Okay, trust me, I totally get this. Like I've said before, having a really dark morning and a really early sunset is one of the most depressing things about Canada. Like it really does start to get pitch black at 4 p.m. And when it hits 4 p.m., the old me would really just like not want to leave my home. I wouldn't really want to see friends. It would be too cold outside. But like I've told you guys before, the thing about discipline is that you do it no matter what the circumstance is. And once you actually, get yourself out of that comfort zone and you do what you say you're going to do, you are going to be the most confident person ever. Because you have proven to yourself that you're able to do hard things no matter what, and you stuck to your promise. I've said this little story before, but like if your friend asks you to do something and you promise her you're gonna be there, you're not gonna miss it for the world. Why is it so? Sorry, my boyfriend is now coming into the frame.
To the frame, you're killing it.
Oh wait, let me actually ask Jeff, how do you overcome the winter blues when it comes to your fitness goals? Like, you know how it gets really cold and dark and gloomy? How do you stick to your fitness goals when winter comes, because it's on its way?
I feel like I use like the motivation from how I used to look when I was bigger in the past. And I always remind myself, no matter where I'm at, hot or cold, no matter the situation, if I have a hotel gym or if I have no gym, I'm going to make sure I'm going to figure out on staying in shape, making sure making movement a priority, and staying far away from how I used to look, which was a milk bag.
I wouldn't say you were a milk bag.
I was thick.
No, you weren't.
Thick. Sleeve of cookies, 2% milk, all night, every day. All right, love you.
Okay, love you. All right. Like I said, if a friend, promise, or if you've promised a friend that you were going to be there, you promised her you wouldn't let her down, then why do you do that to yourself? Where you tell yourself you're going to do something and then you just don't do it, right? Like, you are breaking that promise to yourself. You are your number one priority. You should never do that, okay? So make those promises to yourself, because it's only going to make you a disciplined person. Because honestly, motivation does not exist. It is actually complete bullshit. And motivation is not going to carry you through those hard nights or through those tough mornings where it's gloomy and it's raining and it's snowing. Motivation does not exist. It will never help you get to your goals. It's about discipline. And like Jeff said, you just get it done no matter what, no matter where. Next one is, you tend to let the holidays kind of justify everything. So this is something that I'm obviously, as a coach, used to seeing, where a lot of people will just be like, well, it's Thanksgiving, well, it's Christmas, well, it's XYZ, all the holidays in the world. It's so fair. Like, as a coach, I always tell my clients to enjoy yourself when it's Thanksgiving, have a great time during Christmas, eat the foods that you want to eat. But it's really important to make sure you're doing everything in moderation. If I'm at a Thanksgiving dinner and there's pumpkin pie, for example, I'm not going to eat the entire pie. I'm only going to have a slice. If there is, turkey, rice, there's, vegetables, yeah, enjoy it, eat it. Like, I'm encouraging you to enjoy yourself at things like this. It's about monitoring yourself and still enjoying these types of foods without overdoing it, right? Same thing with workouts. Like, I find that when it is the holidays, like, people just don't really care to train. They don't want to train. It's like, oh, well, I want to spend time with family. You can spend time with family, but I guarantee you during Christmas or the day of Thanksgiving, you can get a half an hour workout in the morning, first thing, and just get it done out of the way. There's always going to be a way. And I think that's something that people don't really take the time to realize, is that once it's a holiday, it's like, oh, it's a free for all. I don't have to do any of this. My goals don't matter anymore. But your goals do not give a fuck about what holiday is happening at the moment. Even with Christmas, like, I always still make sure to get in my workout, not only because it makes me feel sane and I feel very well rested after I train, but it's because it's a goal of mine. It's a priority. It's something that's really important to me, no matter what time of year, no matter what holiday, I will get my workout in. And if I miss a workout, for example, I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm not going to guilt myself. I'm just going to make sure I try and get it in the next day. Try not to make holidays your justification for everything. Like, you're still capable of finding at least an hour out of your day where you prioritize yourself, you prioritize your goals, and you prioritize your movement. Try not to make excuses for everything, because you're going to find you're struggling to get to your goals because you just keep bringing things up. Oh, it's the weather. Oh, it's the holidays. Oh, it's this. There's always a way. My biggest piece of advice is balance, right? Like, it's really important to balance everything. I'm not saying that you should neglect time with your family. I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate Christmas. You shouldn't celebrate Thanksgiving or any of these holidays. I genuinely want you to enjoy them, but I also want you to remember those goals that you have set in your mind, that you're constantly talking about, the ones that you constantly want to achieve, the only way you are going to achieve it is consistency over time, no matter what is happening, no matter what holiday it is, no matter what the weather looks like. So I know that this can be a really tough time for some people, but I actually want you to use it more as an extra challenge onto your plate. Like, I thrive off of challenges. I love a good challenge. I love to see what I'm capable of doing and if I'm able to actually do it, because I constantly want to prove myself right. Once I can and once I do it, I literally feel on top of the world. I feel so freaking good. I feel invincible. I feel like I can run as president. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like unstoppable. So please don't let the excuses overhaul your goals. At the end of the day, your goals don't give a shit about the weather. They don't give a shit about what time of year it is. You just have to get it done. And if you can't get it done 100%, get it done 50%. If you can't do an hour workout, do a half an hour workout. If you can't do a half an hour workout, go for a 15-minute walk. Any movement is better than none. And of course, everything in moderation is key. Hopefully that was helpful. Trust me, I know that this time of year can definitely be tough, especially after the summer when you're like literally walking everywhere, the sun is shining on your face, and then back to the cold. But the reason why people don't see results is that they let this cold really get to them. And they just don't want to do anything. They want to hibernate. It doesn't matter because we're all wearing puffer jackets and long sleeves and whatever. We're all wearing the baggiest clothes. But then when summer comes around, right, when like April, May hits, you're like, fuck, I wasn't doing anything. I didn't get my workouts in. Now summer's around the corner and I have 2 months to get in shape. No. You can do this all year round if you set your mind to it and if you genuinely want it. The only way you're going to change is if you actually, deep down in your heart, really want to make this change for yourself. And as for someone like myself, there was nothing more I wanted than changing and being the best version of myself. So I made a priority day in and day out, no matter what the fucking weather looked like, no matter what holiday was happening. I prioritized it because that's how badly I wanted it. Think about it. Think about how badly you want these goals, how much you want to achieve them. And hey, if you don't want them that bad, that's fine. I'm not forcing you to want it, but like, you will know when you want to change. You will know how badly you want to put in the effort when it starts to really affect your day to day. So just keep that in mind. I have full belief in every single person that they can achieve the goals that they want to achieve. I did not do anything special. I'm not a special person whatsoever. I was just someone that wanted to get to my goals really, really badly and prioritize it over anything. I hope that was helpful. If any of you have any more tips, like I said, please put them down in the comments. I think everyone kind of just like reads them, and so do I. So I think it's really, really helpful. Please make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so. Also make sure to comment and like to show me your support. I appreciate you guys tuning in every Wednesday. I know I missed a couple of weeks. Have a great day. Have a lovely Wednesday. I will see you next week, and I hope you clock in.